Welcome to the Perfect Pitch Auto Repair Sports Spotlight. They do it all at 108th and Kedzie. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver.
Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Pointless Exercise Podcast. We're going to talk about the Cubs with Oleg and Praz.
Sup?
Are the Cubs ever going to win another game?
If they follow the pattern
exactly
that we have set for them,
Win.
they will win tonight.
So what was it? Win
up.
10 in a row, lose 3 in a row, win 11? Was that what they did? So now do they lose 3 or 4 in a row and then win 12?
Well, what is
the pattern?
They lost 3 out of 4. They lost the 2 Pittsburgh games, then they walked off Pittsburgh and lost the first Philadelphia game. Then they won 10 in a row. Then they lost 3 in a row, and when we recorded, they had started their next winning streak. This last 10-game winning streak. Now they have lost 3 in a row again. And so now they have to start the winning streak tonight because we're recording and they've lost 3 in a row going into tonight.
All right, so what happens now then? 10 in a row?
10 in a row. Yes.
10 in a row, 11, 12, whatever they want.
I did see someone on Twitter actually extrapolate it all the way out through the rest of the season that if this pattern continued, the Cubs would win the World Series, but they would lose the first 3 games of the World Series if this pattern would continue.
Huh.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think that this puts a little bit of pressure on us to now,
because we always spurn them on to their winning streaks. Is that
well,
what you're saying?
kinda.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we took last night off so Praz could do a different podcast.
Well, that's what I mean.
The winning streak could have started yesterday. It could have
started yesterday. Yeah.
But now it won't start till tomorrow.
No, today. It would have to start today because the last time we recorded, they started. The time before that, we recorded that they started on the day that we recorded. So, and it's perfect. It's after 3 out of 4, then 3 in a row, then 3 in a row they lost. So this is it. Tonight is it. Calling it now.
Tell that to Drake Baldwin, would you?
Right. Yeah, he clearly didn't get the memo. Actually, tell that to the Cubs offense because they've been pathetic lately. Yeah.
I felt bad for. So did Ian Happ? Did he equal Brian LaHare's streak?
I believe he surpassed it.
Oh,
it's funny that you. It's funny that you said that in your write up in your column because I totally thought that. Like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, Brian LaHare.
Both of them one-time All-Stars.
Yeah.
It's Brian LaHare, basically the same career as Ian Happ. So I don't know. Have you guys been watching the Rizzo Ross podcast? I feel like I have to since they're helping me promote my book with their podcast. It's very
nice. You go. Yeah. Not the recent episode with Coughlin, Caesar, and Almora, but I think the last one I watched was like the Arrieta and Lackey one.
So there's a couple since then. There's that one, but there's also they had the hitting coaches.
Okay.
John Maley
and Eric Hinsky.
Yeah.
And it was funny because one of the themes of every story they're hammered. Every story it involves them just getting shit faced and then doing something. And
naturally,
Malley kind of like almost derailed it right away by reminding them that he's now 5 years sober.
Oh.
And they all kind of looked at him like, quitter.
Ha!
But, and then Hinsky is just like, there's no neck. It's just it's his head on his shoulders.
Yes.
It's the weakest episode of the bunch, but there was still some interesting stuff in it. And I had very low expectations for the one that just ran this week, which is Matt Caesar, Albert Almora, and Chris Coughlin. My buddy, Chris Coughlin, the Ian Happ of the 2016 Cubs.
Yeah.
I thought
But Coughlin, he's kind of the star of that thing talking because he tells the story about how everybody was so excited the day Dexter re-signed, came back. Well, that morning he's working out at 6 o'clock in the morning, and Theo comes in. He's like, "Hey, Chris, you got time to go for a walk?" And he's like, "Why does Theo want to take me for a walk?" He's like, "You know what? You're working out. We'll do it later." No, let's do it now. Whatever it is, you got to tell me. And they basically were telling him that he said he didn't know why. He just knew they were trading him to the A's. And he literally said he goes into the clubhouse then to pack his stuff up, and not only is his stuff packed up, Dexter's stuff is in his locker.
Wow.
And they even packed the clothes Chris was going to wear home. So he just has his Cub workout stuff. And he's like, can somebody open a box so I get my clothes out of it?
Right.
Oh, wow.
And he ran into Dexter then
Yeah.
on the way out. And so he's like congratulating him. He's like, you son of a bitch. And he said his first thought when Theo told him he's traded was, I am never going to win a World Series.
Oh,
Oof. Hey, and then he did later the year.
yeah.
Yeah, I honestly thought they were going to tell the companion story about how excited he was when he came back, but they didn't. They kind of skipped over that. But it was interesting. It was one of the other themes of it is how the leaders of the Cubs, especially Lester and Rizzo and Ross, but were like made sure that other veterans didn't like pick on the rookies because they're like, look, we need these guys to win. There's none of this hazing bullshit. And the reason for it is all of them had terrible experiences early in their career with asshole veterans. And and Rizzo said, he's like, I vowed I would never. He wouldn't say who it was. Did he play with Phil Nevin on those Padres?
Huh.
Whoever was
Nevin might have been a coach there. Yeah.
There were some veterans on the Padres when he was there, and he said he just hated them and he was never comfortable there. And he said he vowed, when I'm a veteran, I will never do that.
Time to pull up their baseball reference page.
I wonder who that was. And Ross said the same thing with whoever he started with the Dodgers. There was somebody there that he just and Coughlin talked about even with the Marlins. I mean, he had a veteran who like cut up his suit and put it in the freezer.
Chris Sale was there?
Shaving cream in his dress shoes during a game. Just stupid asshole shit. That is hilarious, and baseball players doing it forever. It's like, oh, fuck up.
See, okay, I think this was a huge missed opportunity for the one that had Chris Coughlin on it. Should have also invited Tommy La Stella on it. If you remember, when they traded back for Chris Coughlin, that's the day that they tried to send Tommy La Stella down to Iowa, and he refused his assignment there.
Yeah, that's not completely true, and the reason I know that is because Coughlin told the story. Coughlin had been back for a while, but he hurt his oblique. And then when he came back, they had to make a move, and the only guy with options was Tommy. And so Rizzo's funny. He goes, so they tell Tommy he's got to go to Iowa. And he's like, I'm really pissed. It's like, our two, we had our two really good bench guys. We had, who was the other guy that was saying? Well, not Caesar. Maybe it was saying it was Caesar. And Tommy, we had something really good going there, and all of a sudden Tommy's got to go. I was really pissed. Then Tommy refuses to go. Then I'm just really pissed at Tommy for quitting on us. And Rizzo kind of glossed over the fact that when they talked about they had a team, when Tommy finally came back, they had to have a team meeting. And I remember the story at the time was that Rizzo really fucking let him have it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in the clubhouse. And Tommy apologized, and then it was like, okay, fine, we're good.
Just like the story with Lester in Pittsburgh, yeah.
That was close. I think, so Coughlin obviously came back because Schwarber got hurt. They didn't do it right away. Almora came up when Jorge Soler got hurt. And then in the playoffs, those guys were on the roster. Like Tommy wasn't on the roster for the World Series. He had been on the roster for the first two rounds. Schwarber took his spot. So all those guys were in and out. I don't think Caesar was on the World Series roster either. I think Albert was in his spot.
Albert was.
And as you and Huey have recapped on the left field to Remember This Crap, on the 2016 team, left field was kind of a revolving door on that team because I think the team leader was Chris Bryant with like 60 games played there. Like it was, 50 games of Jorge, like 20 games of Coughlin, 20 games of Zobrist. Treras had some time out there, so yeah.
Coughlin said the day before Game 1 of the World Series, he got a text from Joe saying he was going to start in the outfield. And Coghlin's like, I wonder if he has the wrong number. Because he hadn't started a game for like 2 months. And then it was, you're going to start in left field. And then he got a text like 20 minutes later, you're going to start in right field. Because Zobrist wants to stay in left. Apparently, Coghlin's going to play left. They're going to move Zobrist to right. Zobrist didn't want to play right because he hadn't played it in so long. So but it was just funny. He gets a text. He's going to start Game 1 of the World Series. He's like, and Albert has a good story about when he went into pinch run and about how they told him during the rain delay that, Schwarber's leading off. If he hits a double, you're going to pinch run for him.
Yeah.
And so he knows that during the rain delay. And then the game starts and Schwarber gets a single. And Albert's standing there like, I wonder why I wouldn't pinch run now. And so he's kind of like, he goes, I didn't want to turn. He's like looking out the side of his eye. Joe and Davey are talking, and he sees them mouth his name. So he knows they're about to tell him to go in and run. And he said the most scared he's ever been on a baseball field was running up those 4 steps because and all he could think of in his mind was, don't trip and fall down coming out of the dugout. I thought he was going to mention that when he slid to score the go-ahead run in the 10th inning, that he missed home plate and had to go back and step on it again. That didn't come up. Either missed or he thought he did. He went back and made sure he stomped on it. But yeah, it ended up being a pretty good.
I want to say Almora these days, I think I saw something a little bit ago that he's part of some youth baseball academy, kind of in my neck of the woods. I'm in Lombard, right on the border with Addison.
He's way too old to be playing in a youth baseball academy.
I don't think he's playing in it, Andy.
He's got to be in his late 30s. That's ridiculous. He's taking the spot of some needy kid.
Coming back to the majors. Started at the bottom.
Oh, well. Yeah, anyway, those are good. I don't know how many they're doing. There's a lot more, apparently. They keep talking about how, I can't wait for the Addison Russell one. That's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just finished the Schwarber one. I kind of fell behind a little bit, but listened to a couple of other things.
Were you like me? I find Kyle hard to listen to for some reason. Like his voice, is it just the wrong register or something? I feel like he should either talk louder or soft. I don't know. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got funny stories.
Yeah.
Not enough. I thought there'd be more fire truck stories.
And there you go.
He's pretty genuine. But yeah.
I did pull up the 2011 Padres baseball reference if we want to do some investigation on this.
Who do we think was mean to Anthony Rizzo?
Let's take a look here. We got these are the guys I highlighted at least. I don't think it's Chris Denorfia because he did later become a Cub.
No, he was not good enough to be mean.
I'm choosing to believe it's one of these two guys, Brian Ludwig, former Cardinal, or Brad Happ, who was the only notable moment I have with Brad Happ was the line drive he hit off Mark Pryor, his elbow in 2005.
Are you that was Denorfia seemed like cool.
It was Matt Latos was an asshole, right? Could have been Matt Latos. Or was it
How old was he?
He was basically younger than Rizzo, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, 23
it's got to be somebody who's like old enough to feel comfortable to be an asshole.
Aaron Harang, maybe?
Yeah, I was looking at Harang, but he just seemed like a big goofy. I don't like. Obviously, it's a lot of
Yeah, he looks like the kid on Family Guy. Maybe it was Brad Brock before he came. Then he got to come play with.
There you go. Yeah. That's how you knew that was the beginning of the end for that core, when it was Brad Brock was the big offseason signing.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be more obvious than this.
Brad Hopper. Who was the other one? Who was the other 30-year-old? Oh,
Ludwig.
Ryan Ludwig.
I mean, former Cardinal.
Yeah, but someone on the Cardinals he wasn't that young on the Cardinals.
Well, but I'm just thinking of that whole Cardinal culture of
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like maybe
the
somebody
right
was
way
like
around here.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to have Riz on the pod, and he can tell us. Maybe he'll tell us.
Right.
Maybe it was Eric Patterson. 47 games he out-hit Rizzo, 180 to 141.
I believe if this is 2011, this may have been the last year for his brother, Corey. I think he was on the 11 Cardinals.
Chase Headley, Jason Bartlett. Yeah, I don't see anybody obvious. Oh, well.
I'm going to assume it was Ludwig.
Jeremy Hermida. How about
Yeah. Ever tell you about the first time that I hit a grand slam on the first pitch I ever saw in Major League Baseball? Yeah.
He, let's see, was he like...
It was a
Marlins. There were all those... They had those outfits. They all ended up playing for the Cubs at some point, like Coughlin and Todd Dunwoody. And I remember thinking, Hermida, I had him on a fantasy team. He's going to be great. He wasn't.
Dunwoody?
Justin Ruggiano.
Yeah, who's the... Hollins.
Well, Hermida had one good year. 7, 296, 369, 501. He had a great his first 23 games in the big leagues. He thought he was gonna be a superstar. 93, 383, 634.
Yep.
Bryce Hendry didn't trade everybody for him.
Did he go to Jim Hendry's high school?
What high school did he go to?
Right.
He went to Wheeler High School in Marietta, Georgia. Now he's in the 02 draft. The Cubs took Bobby Brownlee.
Oh yeah,
And Luke Haggerty. Didn't I forget Luke Haggerty when I was
and Joe. Who
Matt
was
Clanton?
Clanton? That's it. Was there one other one, or was that it? Brownlee.
There was another
Clanton?
draft where they had multiples and they all were bad.
Those were the days where we're so optimistic.
All right, so last week, and Praz knows the answer to this and Oleg doesn't, so I can't wait to see his reaction.
All right.
Last week, the Brewers inducted the newest member of their Wall of Honor. I'm gonna let you have two guesses to see if you can figure out who it is. The played for the Brewers in the late 2000s.
But you don't. Oh, late 2000s.
Late 2000s. So first decade of the 2000s. Not 2094, which hasn't happened yet.
Because I was gonna guess Ryan Braun, but he must be in already, right?
I don't think so, because he's only retired a few years ago.
Just his urine cup.
There we go.
I think he probably is. I think he's probably in here. They have a lot of guys.
And his
I don't know where
herpes
this
medication.
wall is, but it's crowded. Yeah, Braun's in.
Oh, is it? Is it Corey Hart?
It was not Corey Hart. He might be in.
Nobody wearing their sunglasses at night.
He is. Corey Hart is in.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you had a pulse, you made it.
Jesus.
John Jaha is in it.
Ooh. Now I need to know if Doug is like Doug Davis in it, because God, I hated that guy in the early 2000s.
Who was the pitcher they had who threw the Hermita? No, who's the pitcher they had?
Jimmy
Higuera?
Navarro.
No, not Navarro. That was the old Cub.
Are you thinking of Teddy Higuera?
The White Sox. Who?
Teddy Higuera is who you're thinking of?
That's what I was thinking.
He would definitely be on there. He's one of the best pitchers of all time.
That's amazing that Corey Hart is in. I was just totally fucking
Jamie
kidding.
Navarro is in. Is that who you were thinking?
Yeah.
Jamie Navarro.
Is he really? Is he in? Holy shit, they really are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it Craig
So now
Counsell?
that I see who's in, now I'm less shocked
Craig
that this
has
guy
to be.
made it in.
Is it Craig Counsell?
Council's already in. All right,
Yeah.
that's plenty
Is
of
he-
guesses.
I'm sure that's been vandalized too a bunch of times.
Their Wall of Honor, and I just thought this was so funny. CC Sabathia.
Yeah, I don't. That's
17 games. He played 17 games for the Brewers.
Yeah.
There's not the Hall of Honor.
I'll put it to you this way. I'm more surprised that it's taken this long.
There-
He deserves. I'll put it to you. CC Sabathia deserves to be in more than Corey Hart does.
Yeah, he does. So in his 17 games in 2008, CC Sabathia was 11-2 with a 1.65 ERA. He led the National League. We only played half a season.
Yeah.
Complete games with 7 and shutouts with 3. And then he led the majors in shutouts with 5. And he led the majors in complete games with 10 because he had he had some with the Indians.
It is remarkable that his career went as well as it did after that.
Yeah, considering that this was his free agent year, and they just rode him. I mean, they did. Well, it brought to mind immediately I thought of two things. Like, if I'm Orlando Merced, I'm super pissed that I'm not in the utility tunnel of fame yet for the Cubs. For that three-run homer
I was going to say Gary
1998.
Gaetti. Gary Gaetti probably should for this.
Well,
equivalent.
I think that the comparison here, and this guy actually has a better case for the Cubs utility tunnel of fame than CC did, is Aroldis, who won the World Series.
I can see that.
He only lasted 3 innings in his one postseason start against the Phillies. It did not help them to postseason greatness, even though they had the great Dale Sveman in the dugout. So now, so I'm just going to have to insist that Aroldis go into the utility tunnel of fame.
I mean, he might anyway. Like I have a feeling eventually the Cubs just started the utility tunnel, right? Like it hasn't been.
Well, they just started it, but there's dozens of people that were already in previous iterations of.
But eventually they'll get to the point where it'll be saturated.
But they're so weird about it. Like
there's weird standards for it. Yeah,
they have a panel that votes. You have to get 75% of the vote. It's so fucking stupid. It's like as ridiculous as some of these people are for the Brewers. Like
if everybody from their '82 team was in, that'd be pretty cool. Right, like I would expect that everybody,
it's pretty close. Like,
I bet.
Like Cecil Cooper,
of course. I mean,
Chuck
Cooper,
Krim,
Ogleby, Corbin Thomas, they're all in for sure, right?
Raleigh Fingers, Jim Gander, Moose Haas.
Yeah, obviously Robin Yao.
No,
Moose Haas. Wait, Moose Haas is in. That's funny. All right,
Moose Haas is in.
Yeah.
Sixto Lizcano, was he on that team?
No.
My personal friend Don Money.
Not much.
He's
There
in.
you go. Nice.
Pete Vukovic.
And Don, even on the Wikipedia page, they put a picture of Don. That's how they. Don Money made almost 5,000 plate appearances from 1973 to 1983.
Yeah, sure.
Charlie Moore. Now he's been doing that. Charlie Moore's outdoors for all those years ever since.
Sure,
Might be a
that's the
different
same
Charlie
one.
Moore.
Yeah.
Ben Ogilvy,
Ted Simmons. Yeah, of course, Ben Ogilvy.
Daryl Porter.
Daryl Porter wasn't on that team.
No, right, because it was Ted Simmons. Oh,
Yes.
Ted's got to be in.
Of course, yes. He's a Hall of Famer.
Ted Simmons, there he is.
Vukovic. Who was the other starter? Shit. Get name the Cardinals starter. Vukovic and who was they had one more like really good one. Oh, Don
Wait,
Sutton.
Don Sutton. Don's in.
Yeah.
Don
Yeah.
and his perm.
Is
Yeah.
Darren Sutton in since his kid, announced for them?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Bill Schroeder is though.
Mm-hmm.
That is like I would like that's fine. Like whatever. Like that's the thing about the Cubs one is just once you start putting like it's just for the fans to go, oh, remember that guy? Like it doesn't mean anything, right? Like practically
Because I mean,
speaking.
there's a bunch
maybe.
of guys here who the Cubs would not put in. Like, Craig Counsell's in. Maybe they would put Craig in.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Craig should have been in as their manager, if nothing else.
well, yeah, I mean he was
That's
did he ever
true.
play
Yeah,
for them?
Craig
But I
might
don't
just
know,
be
like-
in for what he did as a player because he did
Like-
play for them for a long time, and
Did
he's
he?
from there. And
They played there twice, 2 different stints with the Brewers.
Yeah,
Like
'cause-
Rob Deere. Would Rob
he in
Deere
it?
make the Cubs Utility Hall of Fame? I don't think he would.
that'd be is Richie Sexton in?
Bill Hall probably doesn't make the Cub Utility Hall of Fame. Although he had a lot of hits against the Cubs.
Would
So
Mel
he's gonna
Hall?
make it against.
Mel
Mel
Hall.
Hall's probably not going to make. Have to parole him
Right,
for the
right.
ceremony. Corey Hart is in. Jeff Jaha, Jeff Jenkins.
I
all
saw
the Jeffs.
who's Jeff Jaha? I have no idea who that is.
John Jaha.
John Jaha. You don't know John Jaha?
No.
Right.
He was a fat first baseman.
He kind of, when I see pictures of him, he kind of reminds
92
me.
to 98.
Yeah.
He hit 100 homers for the Brewers, 105. He
Oh
hit,
yeah. Holy
Actually, he had a better run with the Brewers than I thought. He had 824 OPS.
Okay.
Wow.
Every time I see pictures of him,
he's the Steve Balboni.
He was
of the
really
Brewers.
good in
yeah.
96.
he reminds me a lot of like Dan Vogelbach. Every time I see pictures of him.
There's John Jaha in 1996. 300, 398, 543, 34 homers,
Dude.
18 RBIs. All right, I apologize. He should get in. And then I knew he had a big year with the A's, and he did. 99, 35, 111. And he had 970 OPS.
Yeah. Holy shit.
We got some fun old Cubs here, not including Counsell, but Jeremy Burnitz.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty fun.
And,
I would think
Dan Plesac.
very old
Dan
Cub,
Plesac.
Charlie Grimm might be on there because wasn't he like a owner of like one of the minor league teams that played
No,
Milwaukee before the Brewers?
Oh no,
I
they're
still
not on.
think-
They're not honoring anybody except for the Brewers.
I still think I'll
I could see Braves being honored too.
We didn't have any pilots on there.
No, why? The Braves are still the Braves. Yeah, that's the
the
thing.
Braves,
Like
Braves.
they don't
I mean,
They-
so they have 44 retired for Hank Aaron, but Hank Aaron did play for the Brewers. He finished his
Yeah,
career
yeah.
with
Right.
the Brewers.
But wouldn't they
Yeah.
have like
They need-
Eddie Matthews or
No,
Okay.
why? Why would they? The Braves are
No.
still the Braves.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that was in Milwaukee.
The Braves took that stuff with them.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't George Allen the franchise, but still.
Traded
Um,
everybody. So, where's the
What's it called?
chalk?
They should put Seattle Pilots in there. Like that would only be
Same
Yeah,
fair.
that would be
franchise,
more-
okay.
Right, because they are the pilots. They're not the
Yeah.
Braves, but they are
Right.
the pilot.
Like they should. Jim Bouton should be in.
So here are the guys that are eligible now once they retire, anxiously awaiting retirement.
So wait, is it what's
And
the
they're all going to
criteria?
make. I think they're all going to make it.
Is the criteria when they retire, or do they have to wait like a year or two?
No, just as players having met induction criteria.
Okay.
Willie Adames.
He's
4
not
years.
retired yet.
No,
he's
when they
retired.
retire.
Yeah.
Yes. Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
Brian's
Yeah,
gonna put
he'll
him
make
in
it.
now.
Cy Young winner. Yeah.
Josh Hader.
Yeah.
They're all going to make it. Well, there's only one here that's dubious. Devin Williams, Christian Yelich, William Contreras, former Cub Jeremy Jeffress. And he'll probably make
Nah.
it. Because look at the other
Jeffress
guys
will
on the
make it.
list.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob
Why-
Wickman is in, for God's sakes. He's as good as Bob Wickman
Wick.
was.
Yeah.
It's like Danny Colbin, like their closer from the early 2000s.
I yelled at, all right, Pete Vukovich, right? Jeff Vukovich is the old Cub, Philly.
Well, Jeff is
He-
the insurance agent.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wait, which one
JeffVuk.com
was
is
the-
on your
John
side.
John is the old Philly and Cub coach.
John Vukovich, yes. Okay, yes. That's what. So Pete Vukovich. So Pete Vukovich was the pitching coach of the Brewers. And he was also famously in Major League. And so I yelled at him from the bleachers that he sucked in Major League. And he just looked up, he goes, check still cleared.
There you go. Perfect comeback.
Yeah, like, fair enough.
Right.
I should have yelled, man, they got ripped off.
That's funny, because he played the slugger in Major
Yeah,
League.
right?
Clue Haywood, who
Yeah.
All right.
led the league in many offensive categories, including nose hair. That was one of them.
That movie really is really fucking good. Dude, John Jaha, all right. I'll never forget who he is ever again.
So how did they get Vuk? Was he a free agent, or they got a trade? It was a trade. Oh, it was the great. No, it was. This was December 12th, 1980. It was David Green,
Okay.
Dave LaPointe, Sixto Lescano, and Larry with one R Sorensen to the Brewers,
Oh, to the
or
Brewers?
to the Cardinals,
Yeah.
or Raleigh Fingers and Ted Simmons and Pete Vukovich. And
When did Raleigh
Vukovich,
Fingers pitch for the Cardinals?
That I was
I-
just going to say the same thing. Yeah.
say, did he ever, or was he just passing through here?
Yeah. Was he Omar Infante for the Cardinals?
He never pitched for him.
No.
No,
That's
must
the way
have
to
been-
do it. If you're,
So the A's must have just traded
here's a
him.
good one. So there was on December 8th, 4 days before,
Yeah.
there was a trade. It was the Padres and Cardinals made a trade.
Okay.
The Padres traded Raleigh Fingers, Gene Tennis, and Bob Shirley to the Cardinals for Terry Kennedy, John Littlefield, Al Olmsted, Mike Phillips, Kim Seaman, Steve Swisher,
Jesus.
and John
Cub legend.
Urea, former Cub.
Okay.
Yes. There was a player named later. The Padres sent Bob Guerin,
Oh.
future big league manager.
Future A's manager. Yeah.
So 4 days later,
Okay.
Cardinals traded Vuk and Raleigh and Ted
Okay.
to the Brewers. Vukovich, in his first 2 years with the Brewers, his first year with the Brewers, he led the American League in wins, went 14-4. Second year, he won the Cy Young.
882. Yeah.
Probably an
Pretty good
undeserved
trade.
Cy Young, but okay. Not bad.
Why? Who got the
Was Jim Palmer got it or something?
If
18-6 with a 334? That seems pretty good.
I've
Let's see, he was-
referenced this before. There's a great documentary on the career of Dave Stieb that's on YouTube.
Oh, 81.
They made the
Oh,
case
yeah.
that Dave Stieb should have won it that year.
Oh, it was in 81. In 82, he didn't win it in 82. Who won the Cy Young in 82?
Vukovich.
No, he won in 81. Oh, never mind. I'm
81, he
looking
led the American League in wins.
I'm looking at Raleigh Fingers, who won the Cy Young and the MVP in 81.
All right,
With
so the
20
case for Stieb, who won fewer games, but they basically had the same ERA, 325, 334. Dave Stieb in 1982 had 19 complete games and 5 shutouts.
Jesus.
Probably should have won it.
But it's not
Him-
like Pete
him or
was. Of
Sutcliffe,
course, he didn't
maybe.
have Raleigh. They didn't have Raleigh Fingers in the bullpen. Pete had 9 complete games and a shutout.
I think there was another stat they referenced to about Vukovich that
Well, WAR. They didn't know it at the time. He led the American League with 7.6 WAR, and Vuk was 2.8.
right. It wasn't anything to do with WAR, but it did. I think like the opposing hitters against Vukovich had a higher OPS than whatever the American League average was that year.
Tough for voters to vote on that, considering they didn't know what it was.
Right.
Actually, Rick Sutcliffe could say he deserved it.
Yeah.
Sut led the American League with a 2.96 ERA. He was 14-8. He was worth 5.7 WAR.
That would be an interesting case for Sut if he had wound up winning that Cy Young. He would have had 2 and wonder what, Hall of Fame case he could have had after that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's in the Utility Hall of Fame, so
This
he's
is true.
fine.
That's a high enough
That
honor
is,
for Sut.
this is my Hall of Fame. Oh, that was Sam.
So Pete Vukovich in 82 um, pitched 223 innings. He had 105 strikeouts, 102 walks.
Yeah. Shouldn't be
He
winning
got
the Cy Young
234
numbers like
hits.
that.
He won because he led the league in. It had to because he led the league in wins.
Wins.
And because the Brewers won.
Yeah. If you're the best
That
pitcher on the
that
best
doesn't
team
hurt. That
in
doesn't hurt.
the AL,
Dave
yeah,
C
that
came
would-
in fourth. I mean, I was right about Palmer being good that year. I remember that, but Sutcliffe's with Jeff Zahn. Damn. The 80s sure were something.
So going by the CC criteria,
Yeah.
I'm demanding Orlando Merced go into the Utility Tunnel of Fame for that 3-run homer in the last days of '98.
Yeah.
I want Chris Coughlin in now
Yeah, might as well. Yeah.
for trying to call timeout and getting a hit off the
Ooh.
Cardinals. He
Good
gets
call. I
in.
was at that game.
And Daniel Murphy for his huge contributions in 19.
What
Every bit as
about-
good as CC.
Well,
All
hang
right,
on.
I'm
What
leaving the
about Gary
podcast after
Gaetti?
that.
What about who?
Gary Gaetti.
Yeah, Gary Gaetti. That would be a good one. Jim Edmonds.
Right.
Edmonds in 08. He's got to get in.
Castellanos in 19.
Sure. Yep, Nick's in.
That was someone else I was thinking of. I mean, obviously, I think it's funny you laugh, but I actually think that Chapman will eventually.
Rich Harden for
Rich
what
Harden,
he did after
that's
the
a good
trade in
one.
08.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Right around the same time as CC too.
Yeah.
That was
Well, he
kinda
was
like
the
Cubs-
answer.
Right.
That was the answer to the CC trade because the Cubs were trying to get CC Sabathia, and it's funny when it was this overwhelming package that the Indians got for him. I gotta look it up now. I'm gonna forget people. I know
Like,
Michael
Richie
Brantley.
Scott
Michael
Brantley,
Brantley was in it, and he
yeah.
was a very good player for a long time. But he was not at the time. He was not considered the best prospect in the trade. It was
Richie
Matt
Scott?
Laporta.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
Was
Rob
that-
Brinson, Zach Jackson, Matt Laporta, and then Michael Brantley was a player named later because of that old rule where you couldn't trade two guys out of the same minor league. Do you remember that? There's a reason there were so
What?
many. Yeah, there was like some complicated thing like you couldn't trade like two double A. It was some weird loophole, and there were
Like at the
always these
same
stupid-
level.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Wow.
really quick.
and it
Can
never
I
made
just
any
tie-
sense.
Can I just tie something off really quickly here? So it's kind of funny talking about Gary Gaetti getting into the Cubs Utility Hall of Fame because of what he did in 1998. Well, Gary Gaetti finished 5th in Rookie of the Year voting in 1982 because I happened to be on that.
Oh, see, there you go.
Oh wow.
16 years later, he did that for the Cubs. 17 years later. All
Most of that was just based on how handsome he was.
The Rats.
I don't know about this Gaetti guy. I don't know if he can play, but oof, what a looker. I would be fine, and this would mean we'd have to kick some guys out like Sut, and Sean. I'd hate to do it, but I would be fine with it if the Cubs passed a rule that if you ever played for the Cardinals, you can't be in the Utility Tunnel of Fame. I'd be fine.
Bye Lee Smith.
It's disqualifying. Lee's out. Tough shit.
They'd have to cancel cancel the John Lester induction this year.
Would they ever? Is Bruce Sutter ever go? Is Bruce Sutter in?
He's in. It's weird because the thing they were putting people in before they didn't really publicize it.
The
Yeah.
Walk
So
of
there's all these
Fame.
guys that would have had like these huge days, like Sutcliffe and those guys
Yeah.
that didn't, and they're just in.
Right.
They should just redo those days. What do they got? What's the big fucking deal? Fucking every Sunday should just be like past, like bring back past greats.
Well, the fact that they're trying to limit the membership is just so dumb. I don't
It
understand.
is dumb. Yeah.
Right.
Like I kind of like the Brewers one is like, it's funny, right? Like some of the guys on that, some of the players, it's funny to think about, but fuck it. Who cares? Like, what is it really like?
There is a
Who
pretty
cares?
egregious one for the Cubs that isn't in, and I think it's because like they make you like the thing is that you have to be a Cub for at least 5 years. I think Bill Madlock is not in, and that's a guy who's won 2 batting titles, and since he had left the Cubs, there have only been
Yeah.
2 guys to win batting titles total. He should be in.
Well, PK probably left a memo that
This
they
is
were
true.
not allowed
This
to
is
ever
true.
Induct him.
Yeah, didn't want a black guy with a white wife getting in.
So he wasn't even married to her at the time. He just didn't like who he was dating. So completely unrelated, but for some reason I end up talking about Bear retired numbers all the time. So, new Bears center, Logan Jones.
Yeah.
Do you know what number he's been given?
54.
He's 54.
Yeah.
And there's some uproar about that, which I think is dumb.
Yeah.
And it's not Brian Urlacher's fault, and it's not the Bears' fault. They are not allowed to retire numbers anymore because they fucking retired too many numbers.
Yeah.
So everybody's number is going to get all those. I mean, if how many people have worn 99 since Dan Hampton? Like if a guy, he deserved it.
Yeah, Shane McClellan wore it.
But I got to thinking about it, and if they ever build, which at this point, who knows, if they ever build a new stadium, I think what they should do is they should switch to the Ring of Honor thing instead of the retired numbers.
Yeah.
Good call.
And I think they should unretire every number but one.
Hallis,
I think
7.
No, fuck. George Hallis, no. He was not a good player. He was a good coach. You don't get a fucking number retired because you were a coach. Walter Payton. 34.
Okay.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to bitch, well, how come my grandpa's number isn't retired? He wasn't Walter Payton. That's why. There's only one.
Yeah.
The best player in franchise history. Maybe the best all-around football player in NFL history. He gets his number retired, and we never retire numbers again.
Yeah.
I could hear an argument for maybe Butkus or Sayers, but beyond that, I'm with you.
Well, it's the prestigious honor of leaving it to one gets a little dilute. Once you do more than one, then you might as well unretire them all, because then
that's a good point.
So, but I think who could really argue if you just left Walters retired? Nobody. That's my unsolicited advice for George McCaskey.
I mean, you could give them all sorts of you'd be building a stadium from scratch, make a whole fucking hallway that's just completely dedicated to Hall of Fame, whatever. But yeah, it's a really good idea.
What's crazy is that the Bears don't have a Bear Hall of Fame and museum.
Yeah, they're the one team in Chicago that should. Yeah.
But Hallis Hall has the coolest memorabilia, and you only catch little glimpses of it, in the background of stuff. Because I guess you could take a tour. I guess you could tour Hallis Hall. I don't know.
I've been a few times.
The practice facility.
Yeah.
But it's when you build the new Hammond Dome, move that shit to a place where people could see it. So, Tom Loxis did a podcast last week. He interviewed, is it Ted Campbell from Chicago Magazine? He wanted to talk to him about the stadium and kind of the history of Chicago stadiums and stuff and how they get built and why it's always so complicated in Chicago. And he did. And then he texted me and he's like, I need to talk to somebody else about this because Ted was a little dull. And he was. I listened, dull and short. It was brief. It would have been a 10-minute. He said some interesting things, but not very many. So he's asking me who he should talk to. And I was like, there's only one guy I talk to about this. If you're willing to talk to him. And he was. I just have this memory when the Bears were going to move to Gary. Remember, they were threatening. Nobody took them seriously. They were going to move to
Planet
Gary.
Park.
That's when the counter to that was Richie Daly told them if they moved to Gary that he would get an AFC team to play in Soldier Field. Chicago would become a 2-team market.
Like the Jaguars were going to move here or something. Yeah.
So anyway, this guy took a camera crew to the landfill in Gary and filmed. It was Mike North. It's one of the one of the funniest things North ever did was the shot of him in the junkyard and Gary acting, trying to figure out where the 50-yard line would be. So I said, just interviewed North, and so he did. Yeah. And it's all over the place because North is even more all over the place than ever. But he was funny. And one of the funny things he said was he's like, Tom, I don't know if you know this, but I've closed down a few bars in my day. I've spent late nights. I've hung out with a lot of guys. And I can tell you, at no time were we ever sitting at a bar and go, hey, let's go to Hammond.
Maybe you want to go to the Horseshoe. I don't know.
God, that's hilarious. Back in the aughts, I had a buddy who had a boat on Lake Michigan. It was me and another friend, or him and another friend. They bought a boat, and we'd go out there every once in a while. It'd be on a Wednesday or a Thursday or something like that. and we would invariably we would just take the boat up and down up the river, and then kind of back down, and out to Lake Michigan. But we'd sometimes do pub crawls. There'd be plenty of bars, and you could just stop at and kind of tie up your boat to some other boats. And so we would do that. And what was the one? Oh God, I don't remember what bar it was, but Mike, we were in there, and we were kind of wasted. And go in, and Mike North is there at this bar, and he was wasted, and we just sat around and drank. I don't remember what we talked about, but we just probably had a couple beers with him. It was super interesting. It was just, God, what bar? It wasn't Last Resort. I don't remember what it was. It was up in Chicago River a little bit.
Was it
like
while he was in the middle of trying to create Chicago Sports Webio with that David Hernandez guy? Yeah.
When was that? That had to be, when was that?
Like late 2000s, I think, like 08 or 09, maybe.
I thought it was after that. Okay, maybe it was.
I remember when Chuggo launched.
Yeah.
They had to fight off a bunch of like Webio comparisons. Everybody's like, "Is this another Webio?"
Yeah.
It's like it's a podcast. It's a bunch of podcast guys. It's not. They're not pretending they're running a.
Did Webio just kind of go away, like whatever?
Well, if you're David Hernandez, it went away, and then you got to serve 200 months in prison.
Oh.
For mail fraud. That's what he got.
Oh, 200 months?
200 months. I wonder how many he actually served.
That's a lot. That's, geez. Been
sentenced to 17 years for a Ponzi scheme that bilked $6.4 million for more than 250 people in connection to a now defunct internet sports talk station.
Wow.
He's like, I invented podcasts and I went to prison for it. It's like, well, yeah, because you pocketed $6 million on the way. That's why. So I was watching, or I was in The Athletic. They've already, Mooney and Sahadev are already on their pitcher trade watch.
Yeah.
No, nothing's going to happen until July. You've already got to start. They had a whole list of guys, and Joe Ryan was on their list.
Of course. Yeah, it's pretty good.
But isn't his elbow in like 4 pieces?
No, what?
Didn't he get hurt right after that?
I haven't seen this. I know Logan Webb got hurt, but
yeah,
I know about Joe Ryan.
Why do you have to say things like that?
I guess he's not. He got an MRI. Oh,
did he?
Great MRI news for Ryan. That's a headline.
Hell yeah. All right.
Well,
damn
I don't know. Remember the last time the Cubs traded for a guy who got an MRI we just wanted to like reassure him.
Was it Soroka?
Soroka. Yeah, right before they trade for him. Yeah.
Keep the trade going, Jed. Yeah.
So here's my question for you guys about you're going to have to give up, you have to give up real players to get somebody.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that means that Kevin Alcantara has no shot of playing in the big leagues between now and the trade deadline.
I think the opposite.
Just with I think I don't think they want to showcase him because I think they're worried what the showcase will look like.
Yeah.
I think they're comfortable with him striking out twice a game and hitting a homer every day in Iowa than they are having him come up and flail wildly in the big league.
Yeah, I don't think that showcase stuff matters very much, honestly.
Well, then why would it be the other way? Why would they bring him up then?
I think to say that he's a major leaguer, like this guy was a major league ball player.
Wouldn't that be showcasing him?
No, I don't know. Like I don't think it matters if he goes 0 for 10 in 3 games.
I think after like maybe the first week of the season when we were like had a completely different mindset on Michael Conforto, thinking that he would get DFA'd.
I would pump the brakes on this Michael Conforto thing. The ass of that can fall. Just think about this. People are so like concerned about Moises. Moises is a much better hitter than Michael Conforto is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Everybody's going to struggle.
Yeah.
This Conforto not going to hit 320 for
no.
So,
but I think he's at least earned a spot on the roster. I'd say till like, I don't know, end of June maybe, for what he's done thus far.
Conforto's fine. He's a fine. I was wrong about him. He's a perfectly fine bench spot. Like
for sure.
There's no reason to like give him more than 5 plate appearances a week.
Right. And so that's why. So the only reason I would say that then is, does that mean if, say, God forbid, what if Ian Happ, gets hurt?
Right.
And it's not a matter of just 5 a week, but now you got to start somebody in left field for like, I don't know, 60 days. Do you play Conforto in left, or would you bring Kevin up to be your left fielder?
I actually think they would.
I
think what they would do in that case is they would play Matt Shaw in left.
I was going to say, yeah, that would make the
Yeah, they
most
probably
sense
would.
because, like we talked about this a lot. This is our big problem with Ian Happ is that you're better off just
But
putting.
he doesn't get hurt enough.
No, not that he doesn't get
That's
hurt
my biggest
enough.
problem with him.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, but I mean, left field is a spot where you can kind of just stick anyone out there and it shouldn't be defensive priority as long as you got a guy that can hit. And I don't know if they're there yet with Matt Shaw to not have him have super sheltered plate appearances where he's only facing lefties mostly, but it could work. I think on a temporary basis, if Happ is only out for a 10-day stint, I think that could work.
Well, I do think you're probably right.
playing
I think if say Happ was out, I would guess that the left field would be a combination of Conforto would get starts against most of the righties.
Yeah.
Shaw would play against the lefties. Conforto went into a slump. Shaw would play more. If Shaw was slumping, Conforto would play more. They would just try to slap it together that
or
way.
Suzuki
I know what I
out
would
there,
do.
put one of those guys in right. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
The point is, you need. If Matt gets hurt and you need an extra outfielder.
I know Shaw is not a better right field. If Seiya was healthy and he was in left instead of right, and Matt Shaw was in right, I would fire Craig Counsell myself. Maybe, and I wouldn't move Seiya just for a few days so Conforto could play right field. I mean, if Conforto's gonna play right field, it means Seiya's DHing. So I wouldn't do that.
I'm just thinking back to when last year, right around this time, when Happ went on the injured list, Suzuki did get a good amount of games in left field. So
that's because Kyle Tucker was playing right field.
Yeah, true.
Not
and he
Matt
could.
Shaw
He still
and Michael
could.
Conforto.
He still could play right field at that time. Yeah,
but I don't know. I mean, they would have a hard. How would they replace Happ's defense?
Well, ultimately,
in left field. I mean, so far this year, he's outs above average. He's 0.
Yeah,
you can't just find that anywhere.
That was a great noodle arm throw he had last night to try and get that guy at home plate.
Wait, to continue your thought earnestly, the question isn't who plays left field. The question is, do they bring up Kevin Alcantara? That was the
would they?
That's what we were asking.
Is they? So you're right. That's I've let this whole thing get on. The whole idea was, if you're Jed and you think they're gonna have to make a decision on Shaw at the deadline too. Yeah, because that might be they might have to give him up to get an arm.
Yeah, I think
Shaw. I think Shaw's
gone. Yeah.
It's funny, last year everybody asked for Cade Horton and Matt Shaw. It's like, well, they can have Cade for a year because we could work out some kind of timeshare.
Yeah.
You want Cade? You guys want to rehab him next season and get him back?
Yeah.
Yeah. But hang on. So at the time, there's no way. I'd be fine with not trading. And you also didn't know that you were going to go out and sign Bregman, right? I guess you kind of did. You sort of. I guess if you're Judd, you have to plan for something like that.
To me, the failure at the deadline last year was one that was foreseeable, unless you were a fan who only watches Marquee. And then you see the great Lance Brudzowski telling you how great the Cub minor league system is.
Yeah.
And then at the deadline, your general manager couldn't trade anybody because the reality of it was there were only 2 young players that anybody wanted, and they were guys you were playing every day and you needed. It wasn't Jed not trading Shaw and Cade last year it would have been ridiculous to have traded either at that point. Right?
My thing about
failure was you didn't have anybody else to trade. Nobody wanted Casey. Nobody wanted.
Hang on. You actually, but hang on. You have an actual real world example. If they would have made the Edward Cabrera this exact same trade that they made in the offseason, if they would have made that Edward Cabrera trade last July, fucking kick ass, why didn't they? That's where the failure is. If you could have given up all the
I know from listening to talking to Greenberg and listening to Mooney.
Yeah.
The Cubs would have made that Edward Cabrera trade at the deadline with Marlins.
Right.
Marlins were asking for more than that at the time.
And I don't think there's probably a case that the Marlins weren't selling at that point last year. I think they were.
Yeah, they were.
They
actually didn't. They tried to make a run at it.
Yeah.
They would have made. That's the kind of trade they were trying to make. They were trying to trade Casey for him or Mitch Keller or one of those guys, and nobody would say yes.
Yeah. So it took till the offseason to which sort of, I think, sort of proves Jed's point, right? Because then, he did end up making that trade in the offseason. So it is what it is. Like, I guess you try
Well,
harder in July.
it proves Jed's point, but the fact that they didn't
Right.
have anything else that they
Right.
could offer.
Right.
To me,
Well, they
does not
did.
scream,
Yeah.
"Oh my God,
Yes.
look at our great farm
Yes.
system."
Yes. Yes. No, you're right. You're right. And they weren't going to trade. It was clear they weren't going to trade Ballesteros, right? They had no intention of doing that. I would still argue last year trading Horton would have been the wrong thing to do. I don't know that.
They didn't. I'm sure they didn't consider. He was their best pitcher. They needed him for the playoffs.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. And
Right.
then he
And
wasn't
then-
there.
So
Right.
that's how,
Then Seiya gave him the flu, and
Yeah.
he sneezed and he broke a rib or whatever. And
Do
then he
we
was out.
know that's real? Do we know that's actually real?
We know that Seiya was super sick and missed 3 games, and then right after that, Horton got sick and he got hurt.
Yes,
So
but you'd think
And-
someone else would get sick too if that was the case.
well, wait. Let me ask one more question. Sorry, I
well,
don't mean
we
to
don't
derail
know
you.
other guys weren't sick. We just know only one of them got sick. Only one of them pulled rib cartilage while coughing or sneezing. Whatever he did.
True. Because they did look sick against Hunter
Guys get
Green the
sick
next
all the
night after
time.
clinching. So yeah.
So anyway, back to Kevin. Here's my whole point: is Jed sitting there like, okay, he's playing so well at Iowa right now. We just need to keep him there.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to trade him
Yeah.
out of there
Yeah.
and hope somebody wants.
The other thing about Matt Shaw is I think I would argue that his value hasn't dropped from
No.
last year to this year.
No.
A
not at
lot
all.
of teams look at him as a guy who could be an everyday third or second baseman. That's a valuable player, right? You
Yeah,
should be
for
able to
sure.
get a really nice, and he's blocked, especially once they sign Nico.
Yeah.
He can't play second or third for the Cubs for like 6 years,
Yeah.
5 years,
Right.
however long Bregman's got left.
Yep.
So it makes perfect sense to trade him.
Yeah. Unless some team
And you
is
have
maybe
Nicky
more
Lopez to take
Yeah,
over
right.
for him. You're fine.
unless some team might be a little more enamored by the hot-hitting Pedro Ramirez in Iowa right now. That's a
I think
possibility.
Shaw has produced, the second half
MVP.
of last season, and he's looked, other than the fact that I almost said the poor guy, it's his job. He has to jump around from spot to spot, and I'm sure it's hard to get comfortable when you're doing that. He's a far more proven player than Pedro Ramirez all of a sudden this season, and his entire hitting profile has changed, and it's much more valuable than the hitting profile he had before. If you're a lot of teams, you would be more attracted to Shaw. There's more certainty there.
I think the route they would take, though, with, the scenario you presented, if one of the outfielders gets hurt or something like that, they'd throw Shaw out in left field. They would probably then just call up whoever, would be the best fit as a hitter from Iowa at that point, just to, fill Shaw's spot on the bench. And you could frame this as just saying that you want Alcantara to keep playing every day. You're not sure that he's going to get that opportunity here. And, there's also, I hope this isn't what they actually think, but Jed could frame it this way as we want to keep Alcantara playing every day in the possibility that, we have 2 outfielders coming up on free agency at the end of this year, and he could potentially replace one of them in 2027.
Well, and that was the whole argument for why I thought he should have at least started the season, even with Conforto on the team, because Seiya was on the injured list, was to let him play, and because you need to make a decision on him about whether you want him to be one of your outfielders next year. Maybe they've made the decision, and that's that they don't. I don't know, but they're going to need. I mean, and honest to God, they're going to have a lot of pitching needs at the deadline. The bullpen has enormous holes in it. The rotation has a big gaping hole in it. The idea that I was always comfortable with the idea that at some point this year Justin Steele would come back, but you have no idea how effective he'll be. Now he might not come back. You get a setback that pushes you now until August. If you have one, even a small one now, you're not coming back. And so the idea you had this reinforcement on the way, you can't plan for it. Now it just has to be a bonus if he shows up. There's a lot of shopping to do. Two starters, and at least you need a high leverage reliever, and you probably need a bulk reliever. You probably need to trade for 4 pitchers.
It would be awesome if they get them both from the same team. If the Mets continue to suck, if they get both Peralta and Devin Williams from them. That'd be kind of fun.
That'd be cool if you get a package deal. Yeah.
What about? I think they need to right the wrong, get Brooks Raley back.
Ooh, I like that. I had this thought too when the Mets were in town. Like, Brooks Raley's still kicking around, and like last 3-4 years has been a pretty effective reliever after, our memories of him as like a kind of a, shaky leg starter on the 2012 Cubs. He's carved out a
14
nice little career for himself.
He's been gone. Well, I guess he was here for 13 for a little bit. He's been gone for 13 years. This is Robinson Chirinos stuff if they come back.
Yeah, or Jesse Chavez, because he was originally a Cub minor leaguer.
Honestly, call the Giants and see if he's their bullpen coach. See if Jesse wants to pitch.
There you go. Perfect. A team that I have kind of been keeping an eye on a little bit that has gotten off to a poor start, and I don't know how well they can come back from their poor start, is the Houston Astros. Carlos Correa is now out for the season. A guy that has piqued my interest a little bit has been Peter Lambert, who signed a minor league deal with them.
The Highlander?
The Highlander?
What's that actor's name? It's something Lambert. Christopher Lambert? What is? Making jokes just for myself. Christopher Lambert, the Highlander. I don't even watch that show. I just know who he was.
Right. But yeah, Peter Lambert's a guy that, like, I think he replaced MI when he went on the injured list, and now MI's back. But he's had like a really nice start. He's produced a like ground ball rate in the 40s. He's got an ERA either low 3s or high 2s. Maybe him or Lance McCullers.
Lance McCullers is not still alive, is he? Is he still pitching for them?
Not
senior.
Not as many McCullers as Steve Stone would say, but no.
Oh, he's ripping it up. 7 starts, 7.41 ERA.
Yeah, that's McCullers blows.
20 walks in 34 innings. Does lead the American League in wild pitches with 4. So
okay, maybe that's not a good option. I was
no.
Looking
if I'm
at
the Cubs, I'm doing one-stop shopping. I'm calling up the Giants. They've got Robbie Ray. They've got I don't know if they'll ever trade Logan Webb. They probably won't.
Yeah.
But I would trade for I wouldn't mind having Robbie Ray in my
rotation.
Robbie
Ray would be fine. They don't have any relievers.
They have the great Caleb Killian.
Yeah.
Right that wrong, Judd.
Well, they righted the wrong, and now now we can rewrite.
Yeah, right. Wrong. Yeah. Here, we got to make like a trade before a trade with the Rockies for Chris Bryant, and then we can trade Chris Bryant to the Giants again for Caleb Killian.
Caleb Killian, 19 innings, 19 strikeouts. Is a 140 ERA. He has 12 walks. So there's a big red light flashing on the. But he's throwing 100 miles an hour now. Our elbow's probably about ready to fly.
I need you know what I haven't seen.
What about Eric Miller? Big lefty. I like Eric Miller of the Giants.
Familiar with Eric Miller's game? Let's pull up their baseball reference. 3.18 RA, okay. 171
last
FIP,
year,
okay.
Last year in 36 games, he had a 1.5 ERA, a 1.50 ERA.
All right, sign me up for Eric Miller. I'd be good with that. Let me ask you guys this: is there like a certain criteria you look at when trying to find like pitchers on other teams that you think the Cubs might want to trade for? For me, it is definitely. Well, yes, if they're good. For me, I look for a lot of guys that, with how good this Cubs infield defense is, I'm looking for guys with high ground ball rates that maybe give up, like, maybe allow a high batting average on balls in play, and that would switch around when they come to Chicago and have Dansby Swanson and Nico Horner up the middle.
I think, like, what you're describing is somebody like Devin Williams, who's just been so unlucky this year. His batting average on balls in play is like 4 something.
It's the same with Logan Webb.
Yeah,
who is he's hurt, but he has like knee bursitis. It's not like it's not an arm injury in his back. Last year he's led the National League in innings the last 3 years. Last year he led the National League in strikeouts. And this year he's a 5.06 ERA, but all of his numbers are the same, except for the fact that he's got Luis Ariz and Willie Adames trying to field ground balls going up the middle of the infield.
Yeah.
Instead
Okay.
of Nico and Dansby.
Well, hey, the Giants may be really the team to target there if that's their middle.
Well, and I was
infield.
going to say, well, Buster's not going to trade Logan Webb, but Buster seems to just get a hair up his ass and then just make a trade the next day. Like, not a lot of
True.
thought. Like
Patrick Bailey, yeah.
I mean, the Bailey thing, he is the best defensive catcher in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Buster knows a little about catching, and I think he
Right.
finally looked at that swing and went, it sounds like the complaint was that Bailey didn't seem all that concerned about his offense. Like, he's like, well, I focus on defense. And Buster's like, yeah, we don't score any fucking runs, and you're hitting 160. So go hit 160 in Cleveland. So maybe we can get Logan to piss him off. He can trade him to the Cubs.
I'll take it. Logan Webb, he needs to straighten a couple things out, but that, God
And he's
damn,
got
57% drop
and he's got 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah.
23 and $24 million.
Yeah.
He's a bargain.
You know, speaking of, if Shota continues this, he's gonna cash it.
I mean,
That
right
350
now,
feels
the
like nothing.
Cubs' refusal to pick up his option, which paid him an average of $15 million a year,
Yeah, well,
is
354.
fucking insane.
Yeah.
You know what? I am blaming this directly on you, Oleg. You're the one who said the entire time going down the stretch last year that they weren't going to do it, and you spoke it into existence.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was
honestly,
obvious they weren't gonna
they gave him the qualifying offer thinking he wasn't going to take it.
Yeah.
He's the best pitcher
Right.
on their team, and they didn't even try to keep him.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
Where
He's
would they
gonna
be
end up, like,
without
I
him
think-
right
I
now?
think he
Yeah.
could sign, I think this offseason, if he keeps this up, he's got 360, maybe 375. He's going to end up making way more money than he could have. Because if the Cubs would have picked up his option in 3 years, he wouldn't have been able to sign another big contract. He's 32, right? So he's got one more big contract in him. And with the Cubs, he did himself a favor. He got himself a pillow contract.
Well, and he
with the
got
Cubs.
himself a raise this year because he got his buyout and he got $22 million.
I mean, the buyout, yeah.
Well, no matter
Ooh,
what the
what was
buyout
that?
is, he wasn't going to make $22 million this year, and he got the qualifying offer plus
Yes.
he got his buyout.
Yes.
So
Yes.
he didn't do as good as Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah, jeez.
Got $32 million to now throw 82 miles an hour. Like, good news. We can't find anything wrong with his arm. It's like, oh, that's kind of bad news.
Yeah.
We were
that's not-
hoping
that's-
you'd find a reason he's throwing 80 miles an hour.
Yes.
As speaking of Nico's defense, he just underhanded the ball into the stands.
That was disgusting.
Use your hand, not the glove.
Right. You had enough time to get Michael Harris at first. Come on, Nico.
Would you go get Drew Pomeranz back from the Angels? Huh?
Wouldn't mind that. Hey, did
17 games.
Did you happen to
7.2 ERA.
Did you happen to see the move that the Cubs made today that could be similar to the Drew Pomeranz move last season?
They
Yeah.
reacquired Frank Castillo, but
Not
Huh.
Frank Castillo. No, not the ghost of Frank Castillo. No, they went out and signed Liam Hendricks to a minor league deal.
oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta say, I like Liam Hendricks. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know
me
how
too.
he's as a pitcher or anything, but he seems like a good dude.
What was his? He was in spring training with the Twins, and the Twins told him go away.
Right.
Oh, he did. Twins actually have a pretty good bullpen though. I mean, it was like the Padres last year with Pomeranz. He just couldn't fit him. Let's see. It was not so good. 7 innings and 7 appearances. He gave up 9 hits, walked 5, gave up 3 runs.
Yeah, not great.
But that was months ago. Now he's he's older now.
Yeah. You know, I mean, relief pitching is so volatile. I mean, all over the league, you get guys where they have terrible starts to their career, terrible stretches in their career that turn into effective guys for a year or two. I mean, you know, we kind of figure this with like Jeremiah Estrada after he started poorly with the Cubs and then went to San Diego and became a really good guy for them. I think the Cubs may have found an option like that in the great Ryan Rollison, but hopefully the same continues with Hendricks.
There is Tommy Hot. There might be something to this dude. I mean, I don't know. Rollison's been kind of off a little bit over the last couple appearances.
Have
Or
you seen that
he's being
strikeout rate though?
he's either off or he's being Ryan Rollison.
Right.
I don't know if I would say Ryan Rollison was a first-round pick, and he was drafted by a team that doesn't exactly develop pitching all that great in the Rockies. There may be some potential in there.
He's another guy like Michael Conforto, where hopefully you're not counting on him for high leverage, like 3-4 innings a week of like really high leverage innings. Right. Hopefully he goes out there. He could kind of do some middle relief work, multiple innings here and there. Maybe if Ben Brown shits the bed, he comes in. Right. When's Ben Brown pitching tomorrow?
Is he opening
Ben
again?
Brown is pitching. Yeah, no, he's pitching. And it'll probably be like,
he threw 4 innings last time out, and he was good. He threw 4 good innings.
4 no-hit innings against the Rangers.
Yeah. He was really good.
No, I'll go back to my shorthand. The best way to sum up the volatility of relief pitching is the great Brian Densing.
Yeah.
2017, 68 games, 2.74 ERA. The very next year, same guy, no injury, no nothing, 48 games, 7.65 ERA.
Yeah.
There's a reason that Jed flushes the bullpen and tries to It's like if you bring them all back, that doesn't mean they're any good. You might as well go shopping.
Right.
Instead, you have just as good a chance by bringing in Hobie Milner to strike out one guy a month.
Right. I wonder too, has like Brad Keller's numbers like come a little back down to where he was last year, because I know it was a bit of a rough start for him in Philly so far this year. You saying what you did about Brian Dunsing has me worried a little bit about what Caleb Thielbar is going to look like when he comes off the injured list, because I equated Caleb Thielbar last season to kind of what Brian Dunsing was in 2017.
Well, Thielbar before he got hurt was better this year than last year. Hell, they were having him close because they didn't have anybody else who could throw strikes.
Well,
so they were having
and you didn't have Palencia at the time.
Well, that's what I meant. But no, I said he already can't qualify for the Dunsing thing because he got hurt. The whole reason with the Dunsing thing was it was just a guy who 2 years in a row, nothing changed, no change in repertoire, no injury, really good one year, really bad the next, because that's what relief pitchers do. You know, if Thielbar struggles now, you'd have to wonder how much of it is the fact that he's 40 fucking years old and he tore his hamstring off his leg. I mean,
right.
He's probably likely to be bad when he comes back. Yeah, I don't know how Brad's ERA is down to 4.32 now.
Okay. I know it was in the 5s when the Cubs played him.
Everything else looks in line. 18 strikeouts in 16 innings, only 6 walks.
Yeah, he's fine.
16 hits. That's more hits than... But I don't know, what was he... Like, his season last year was mostly second half when he went crazy. He was the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, that's true.
To me, them not bringing Keller back it didn't shock me because he got paid real money. But I don't understand. So they traded for Soroka.
Right.
And they talked about, we know there's this tweak we want to make with him. We think we can turn him into something really good, blah, blah. He gets hurt. He can't pitch. He can barely pitch at the end of the season.
Yep.
And then whatever their plans for him were, they're like, no bother. And he goes to Arizona, and now the Diamondbacks are going to have to flip him at the deadline for something. Right. He didn't sign for very much money. Why didn't the Cubs?
Like $3.5 million.
Exactly.
Why weren't the Cubs the ones who signed him? It's like, what did he do in the month that he sat in the training room that pissed everybody off?
Right.
Forgot to flush?
No, yeah. If that's someone that you thought, like, with a few tweaks here and there could be fixed, that's absolutely someone you should take a flyer on.
This is the problem I continue to have with the pitch lab nonsense, which is they have certain people in the media that they will tell all this stuff about how, we're going to fix this guy, and we fix this guy. And it's very easy for them to take credit whenever a guy is better and then just blame it all on the player when he's not. And they clearly were telling the Athletic guys about all these plans they have for Soroka. And they had a chance to still implement them this year. And they're like, we're just kidding. Like, okay, well, maybe you were full of shit. Maybe that's what you were. It's just like, and it hasn't worked because he's slumped ever since. But the Athletic had that article about how it's actually, I blame this on the headline writer, because when you read the story, it really wasn't that bad. But there was a headline about how Cub hitting coaches turn Moises Ballesteros into like this great player. It's like this nonsense about how it's always the fucking coaches, it's not the players. But then the article was basically how Counsell told the hitting coaches to just get away from Moises, just leave him alone. But there was one last week about how they had Tommy had fixed Shota by getting him to throw more balls.
Yeah, I'm sure that
we
was. We
won't want to give Shota credit for being better. You got to give it to the coach instead.
It's not like he had like a full year to recover from an injury he had last year or anything like that.
Shota's didn't Shota write a book about pitching?
Did he?
Maybe there's
he is the pitching philosopher.
Right.
Now, what the hell are they going to tell him?
Shota Imanaga's pitching Bible.
Wow. Okay.
$35 on eBay.
Yeah, I
That's
was
it.
looking at that.
You should reach out to.
You'll have
you
to
should
get
reach
it
out-
translated, unless you can read
Okay.
Japanese.
Maybe
I can't.
you should reach out to Shota to see if you could get your 2 books and his book as a package deal all sold together.
We should do
Yeah.
a little. Shota and I could do signings together.
Cross
There you go.
marketing. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Does he sign a Mike Imanaga?
Ha!
I definitely get it then.
Cubs don't need relief pitching. They have Phil Maton. That's
Yeah, I was
all
gonna
they
say that's
need.
the one guy I'm kind of worried about.
Right as you said that. Impeccable timing, Andy. Yikes.
Oh, it was on. I could tell from the windup he was about to give up a 2-run homer
Is that what he does?
to the great Mauricio Dubon. How can you get Mauricio Dubon out? You can't.
Former Brewers prospect that was traded like late 2010s, I think.
The Astros?
Yeah, traded from
so,
the
yeah.
Giants to the Astros. I don't know if he originally was a Giant.
I know. I think he was originally a Brewer that they traded to the Giants.
Yeah, he went from the Brewers to the Giants, to the
some
Giants
relief
to the
pitcher.
Astros,
Yeah.
and the Astros to the Braves. Do you know how many Gold Gloves Mauricio Dubon has? 2.
Wow. Is
has
he like
He's
the
won 2 utility player
ah?
Gold Gloves. He wasn't just traded for some pitcher. He got traded from the Brewers to the Giants for Ray Black and Drew Pomeranz.
Wow. Come full circle there
We've
with
come
our
full circle.
Cubs
again.
bullpen discussion.
He was originally drafted by the Red Sox. He was in the Travis Shaw trade.
Oh,
What?
Okay. Yeah, Travis Shaw for Tyler Thornburg, and also, well, no, he would have came to the Brewers in that deal. So yeah, I remember being pissed off at the Red Sox for that deal that they traded for like this total random broken down reliever for one of the. I think Travis Shaw was like one of their top hitting prospects at the time. I'm like, what are you doing, Boston?
Do you think Tyler Thornburg, Taylor Teagarden, and Trent Thornton are just the same guy?
Ha!
And also that, oh my God, who's the Trent guy that was on the Cubs in like 2024? Or no, Trey Wingenter. I think he's the same guy too. Yeah.
Win Gardner, win.
We all remember Taylor Teagarden's greatest moment as a Cub.
Against the Reds.
He got the game-winning hit off of Aroldis Chapman.
That's right.
That was another funny thing about the council, not council. What do I say? I'm thinking of council of the Coughlin, Elmora, Caesar podcast was they ask all the guys, when did you know we were good? That's one of their questions, and they were all talking about it. And Coughlin was like, because I don't know if this wasn't when we were good because we were still bad. He said, but I remember when Rizzo tried to fight the Reds in 14.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they start telling the story, and they go, well, they don't say who. Like, he threw at Nate Scherholtz twice and hit him and was laughing. It's Aroldis. They've been talking about Aroldis nonstop in these episodes. And they just leave out the fact that the guy that basically started the fight was Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember that was
podcast.
a huge moment in 14 when
Yeah,
Rizzo
when they traded for him, that
tried
was
to
a big-
take on the entire Reds dugout.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, we're fucking tired of this shit.
Yeah.
And we're not good yet, but we're not putting up with this stuff anymore. And it was a big deal when he did it.
It was a big deal. Well, I mean, I remember when Chapman got traded here, there was a narrative around, like, is he going to get accepted? Like, what's that going to look like? What happened? I mean,
Well, there was a lot. I mean,
obviously,
that whole
well,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, the Cubs couldn't,
Right.
for a guy like Theo who obsesses over details, they completely fucked that whole thing up with Aroldis. You had, the only reason he was supposed to be a Dodger. Remember? He got traded to the Dodgers. They had an agreement, and then that's when he took his gun and shot a bunch of holes in his garage and threatened to shoot his girlfriend and all that stuff. And so the Dodgers bailed out the Yankees a few months later, like, fine, we'll take him. So he had that baggage. He had the baggage with the Cubs about the antics with the Reds. And he shows up, and the Cubs don't have a translator. They made poor Hank White translate for him. They didn't do a normal press conference. They just had him sitting in the dugout. He apparently had he had just gotten in from the flight. He hadn't slept, and so he's like, whatever. And it was awful. The first interview was like the worst. He needed to make a good impression, because we already had fans who weren't going to root for the Cubs because the Cubs had gone out and gotten him, and there was this uproar, and the Cubs just completely botched the whole thing. But
whatever, it all worked out in the end.
Yep.
But that's also, I think it was from the podcast before. I think that when they asked Kinski, and I think it was them, maybe it was Lackey, and when they did the one with Lackey. But anyway, it was, when did you know we were good? And they were like, well, I can tell you when we knew we were going to win the World Series. It's when Aroldis walked in the door. Like, we already had the best team, and then we got that guy, and it was over. We knew we were going to win the World Series.
I think there was maybe a previous episode of the Ross and Rizzo podcast, or maybe it was that podcast he did with like Johnny Manziel last year, where Rizzo talked about how, like, shortly after that whole incident with the Reds, because it was like right around the All-Star break, and it was the first time Rizzo was ever an All-Star, and he's in the same clubhouse with Chapman because he's a National League All-Star for the Reds that year, and I guess like they kind of hit it off and like kind of made up there and like became pretty friendly ever since then. And like that was a moment that Rizzo kind of raves about, like when they finally got him, is that, like, hell yeah, we're really going for it.
I'm going to take your word for it because I didn't hear the Johnny Manziel podcast, but
I gotcha. It was last year, like I think before Rizzo ever like officially retired, like maybe a few weeks before he had the whole thing at Wrigley where he caught, or almost caught, Moises Ballesteros' first career home run.
All right, well, we'll pause here now. When people listen to this, they'll be like, I can't believe they stopped talking right before the Cubs' huge 4-run ninth inning rally against the Braves. That was started off here by Michael Conforto hitting into a game-ending double play. So I guess we don't have to worry about the.
And not a game ending, but
only 2 outs. Oh, they still have an out.
Yeah,
they're fine. They still have an out.
Yeah. Can I say too? What is this with? I don't know. I don't think the Braves are ever going to retire like Dansby Swanson's number 7. It does feel weird that Ha-Seong Kim is wearing number 7 for the Braves so soon after Dansby Swanson left.
Was Dansby that good with them?
It was a big part of the World Series team
I would
for
think
them.
the Braves, like, think about the Cubs and what you have to do to get your number retired by the Cubs, right? You have to be a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah, I get that. I think the bar is way too high for the Cubs.
Standards.
Probably. It would make sense for a team like the Braves that has actually like won a decent amount. But I don't think that makes sense for the Cubs.
Oh, you were going to tell us something that made you mad about Marquee.
It wasn't that made me mad about Marquee.
Yeah.
It was annoying. That's right. Here's what I think ought to happen. If you subscribe to Marquee, you ought to be able to watch the games on MLB TV.
Yes.
And you ought to be.
It should be that way for everyone. I don't understand why that's not.
Yeah. Because what that means is then I'd be able to watch the game on ESPN app, which means I would be able to multi-view it with the hockey playoff games, which would be fucking amazing.
Right. And you would still get, well, you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't get the Marquee commercials.
Why not?
I'm just saying the way they do it now with MLB.TV, you wouldn't get it.
Well,
but they should. They should just set it up so that they just show the local feed. You get the local commercials, and then it becomes an additive to somebody to add to. Instead of having to protect the precious blackout, you'd be like, hey, Howard Ankin, your ads are going to be national now because anybody who watches this is going to see them.
I mean, the whole blackout thing is dumb anyway, but my point is that if I'm already subscribing, then why, just let me watch. Right, let me watch. Like, what if I'm already subscribing to Marquee? Just give me the Marquee. Like, what's the big deal about that? You're right. Like, it doesn't have to be all the games that get the local feed. I just want the Cubs. I'm subscribing to Marquee. Give me Marquee.
So that is that's what Rob Manfred is trying to do, is get it so you buy the package and you get every game
Yeah.
blackout free. And I think
Yeah.
that the way it's going to happen is the way you just described it. I think what the owners are finally going to sign off on is a deal where the way it works now, like MLB.TV, we subscribe to it because of where I live. I don't get the Cubs, the White Sox, the Brewers, or the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And but now, if I wanted, I can subscribe because I'm in the territory. I could sign up for the card. I could pay to get the Cardinal games. I could pay to get the Brewers games. I could pay to get the White Sox games. I could pay to get the Cub games.
Mhm.
What Manfred wants to do is to shrink the blackout areas. So it would just be Chicago for me, right? It's
Okay.
ridiculous that
Yeah.
Brewers and Cardinal games are blacked out. I don't care because I don't give a shit about either team. But if I did, it would be annoying. And if all you have to do is authenticate on the MLB.TV app that I can watch Marquee, I can watch CHSN, and then you get all the games. That's what he wants. That I think is what they're eventually going to agree to. It's ridiculous that it's not that way now, but I think that's the fix, and that'll keep most. Honestly, we keep all the big markets happy because Marquee, you'd still have to subscribe to Marquee, but now you could get it delivered in the most convenient way, which it is not right now.
100%. Yep, I'm on board. Like, because like I said, all I wanted to do was multi-view the NHL playoff game and the Cubs. And that seems, I'm like, and like I went down that rabbit hole. I'm like, wait, I could do it with other games, and I'm already subscribed to Marquee. What the fuck? All right, that's all I have.
Do you mind if I give a quick plug for something before we go? If anyone's going to the Saturday night Cubs White Sox game, my buddies at the Chicago Sports Bums, who I do my other podcast with, Bums in the Bleachers, they'll be hosting a pregame tailgate. If you're on Twitter at all, check out their Twitter at Chi Sports Bums. They want people to kind of sign up for it just so they know the right amount of food and drinks to buy for everyone. But free for all. And if anyone wants to come by, just go to Lot B at the Guaranteed Rate parking lot and look for the Chicago Sports Bums flag, and that'll be good. Good time there. Yep.
Just to, because I looked it up, every Brave who has their number retired is in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
No, that's not right. There's one that's not yet, but he is an all-time great Brave. It's Dale Murphy.
Oh, Dale Murphy.
Back-to-back MVP. They retired his number anyway, but it's Bobby Cox, Chipper Jones, so Sean doesn't always said it, Warren Spahn, Andrew Jones, John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, Phil Necro, Eddie Matthews, some guy named Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, and Tom Glavine. And only one of those players never played in Atlanta. Do you know who that was?
Jackie Robinson.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you're right. Jackie Robinson, two of them. Only one former Brave player didn't play. You're right.
Wow.
Warren Spahn. Was a Boston and Milwaukee.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know with Eddie
He played in
Matthews.
Boston.
Eddie Matthews played in all three, and he's the only one to play in all three.
Oh.
Yeah.
How long were they in Milwaukee for?
I think 52 to 65.
Holy shit.
Yep.
I thought it was a long time. All right. Wow. That's interesting.
They were there. Let's see. 53 is when they got to Milwaukee.
Okay, 53 was 1 year off.
I'm trying to see when they left. I can't go by Spahn because he went to pitch for the Mets.
Eddie Matthews, if you go to his page, it'll show it.
Why did they change this? Where's the franchise history? Oh, there it is. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, 53 to 65. They weren't there as long as I thought they were. 13 seasons.
Yeah.
Played 2 World Series. Won one and lost one.
Too. Yeah.
That's the only one that town's ever going to fucking win. So I hope they enjoy it.
God willing.
I do hope. Well, I don't hope. Because I don't think this Cardinal team's any good. But I do think that at some point in the next few years, people like Praz, who think the Brewers are their rival, all it's going to take, just let the Cardinals get competitive and see how fucking long it takes before you hate them more than the Brewers. I guarantee you it won't take very long. It doesn't mean you have to like the Brewers. It just means the Cardinals are a lot worse.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to make the case that the Brewers are the big rival. I'm just saying that I personally hate
I
the
thought
Brewers
we did a whole
more.
podcast where the topic was that the Brewers were the. Wait a minute, am I taking crazy pills
Okay,
over here? I think we did a winter podcast that was your topic.
Currently, I think they are. Obviously, over the course of history, it's the Cardinals more so.
I'm just saying that when
if
this
that ever
changes,
happens, yes.
When the great J.J. Weatherholt and Jordan Walker lead the Cardinals back to 82-80, and everybody gets all excited, that once you get a taste of what that's like, you're going to be like, oh my God, these people are the worst fucking people in the world. Because they are.
I think the people that are Packers and Brewers fans are worse, but that's just my opinion.
No, there's a whole strain of Packer Cardinal fans.
This is true.
They're far worse.
They absolutely are the worst. Yes.
I mean, Brewer fans at least know how to tailgate. They have that going for them. Cardinals can't even do that right. They're busy, I don't know, putting fucking ketchup on crackers and calling it pizza.
They're busy driving their car.
Their ravioli. And then,
they're busy driving their car in a light post.
Going to Shannon's and getting blitzed and smashing into the back of a record.
Yeah.
All right. That's enough of that.
All righty.
I think
Many of us have herpes.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
It's fitting. It's got to be done with one of the best games of all time. Just unbelievable. Got to congratulate the Dolan family.
Thank you. Sean, my podcast co-host Andy, you were his favorite player growing up.
Oh, thank you so much, Andy.